Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Shock Horror Theatre, the home of the mad and the macabre. My name is Ruben Crowley, and this is my review for Daddy's Head. So, dear viewers, if you don't mind, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video. So, Daddy's Head is a horror film that released in 2024, not to be confused with the erotic film Daddy's Bed. And the basic premise for this film is that after the funeral of his father, James, who was a victim of a car accident, Isaac and his stepmother Julia are haunted by a strange creature that starts to walk around their house. And this creature may or may not have stolen the face of Isaac's recently deceased father. And so I don't spoil anything, I won't tell you any more about the plot. The film stars Charles Aitken, Rupert Turnbull, and Julia Brown, amongst many other talented people. So what exactly is this film? Well, this is what we would probably call nowadays elevated horror film. Basically, it's code for artsy-fartsy horror film. This film is basically a retread of a different film called The Babadook, which released a few years ago. But is it as good as The Babadook? In my opinion, no. The performances in this film are very strong, particularly from the oh-so-talented child actor and Julia Brown, who has to do most of the heavy lifting in this movie, acting-wise. So there's moments where she's, this being a horror film, obviously afraid. There are moments where she is drunk. There are moments where she is passed out. There are moments where she thinks she's losing her mind. And there are moments where she does indeed lose her fucking mind. Nathaniel Martello White also has a starring role as one of the supporting cast. He plays a character by the name of Robert, who I think is supposed to have been friends with Isaac's father and or Laura. The film didn't spell it out fully for me. But anyway, he gets brought into this situation and he himself witnesses certain things. But annoyingly, the film doesn't tie up his story. So something happens in the film. We see kind of the aftermath of it, but we don't ever go back to find out what exactly happened. And in fact, I could say that about a lot of this movie, particularly the ending. It doesn't spell it out, which is a kind of common trait of elevated horror, where you kind of have to put the pieces together yourself. And I think I basically get what's going on. You know, like The Babadook, this film's monster is a manifestation for something else, which you either pick up on watching the film or you won't. And I suppose your enjoyment of this movie is going to hinge on whether you understand fully what it is. Because as a creature movie, it's not really that type of film. It doesn't have a high body count, if any. There are jump scares, but it's not terrifying every second of the hour and 32 minutes that it runs. This is mostly an emotional affair, and thankfully, for me anyway, the performances sold it. The performances were very good. You can watch this movie completely free of charge. Well, I say free of charge. You can watch it on Shudder, which of course costs a subscription. So if you have Shudder and you haven't watched this, you like The Babadook, or you like elevated horror in general, or you just want to see something new, then I highly recommend Daddy's Head. If you don't like The Babadook, or you don't like elevated horror, then maybe give this one a skip and go and watch Halloween for the 1227th time. So there we have it, my totally not improvised review for Daddy's Head. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then, feel free to give me a thumbs down. And remember, the single most important thing we always tell you here, spooky people, and that is, a good nightmare comes so rarely. So keep your eyes and your ears open. Ha ha ha!